Hello and welcome to Author Spotlight. I'm Rachel Barenbaum, author of A Bend in the Stars, and today I have a very special guest, Jennie Fields, author of Atomic Love. This is her fifth novel. She is brilliant. This book did not disappoint. I absolutely loved it. Jennie, tell me, what is your book about?
It's about a woman who was a physicist on the Manhattan Project, who helped to create the original atomic reaction that led to the atom bomb. And now it's 1950, and she's approached by an FBI agent who wants her to spy on her old lover, who betrayed her because they believe he's selling secrets to the Russians.
So one of the things that really struck me and haunted me after I finished this book was that you have two main characters, one who was ravaged by war, he was a POW in Japan, and one ravaged by war because she helped to build the bomb that was dropped on Japan. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I really wanted to write a novel about two people with broken wings. And I felt like World War II left people very damaged. And yet, come 1950, they're supposed to be happy, they're supposed to be starting new lives, but they're still left with this sense of damage. Rosalind, the main character, had tremendous sense of guilt when the atomic bomb fell on Japan. And so she's living with this tremendous sense of guilt. And Charlie, the FBI agent, is a man who spent years in a Japanese prisoner of war camp and really suffered because of that. So there are two people who are very broken by the war, who I wanted them to be able to find each other and essentially to heal each other because of love. And so that's really where this book started in my mind.
My favorite lines in the book actually came fairly early on, and you wrote, "What she should do and what she is capable of doing are often two sides of an unsolvable equation." Can you talk about that line?
Charlie asks her to do something very dangerous, which is to spy on this man Weaver, who was her lover, to find out if he's selling secrets to the Russians. Does she have the, what for to do that? Is she brave enough to do that, to put herself in harm's way? And I want her to realize that she's braver than she thinks, and that she needs to do what she needs to do, and that she's powerful enough to do it.
I love that theme of the powerful woman, especially because she's a woman basically trying to break into the man's world of science. And
Right.
This leads directly into another one of my favorite lines in here, where you wrote, "She quickly learned that speaking in a woman's octave rendered her thoughts inaudible. If she wanted to be heeded, she had to lower the pitch of her voice." Oh my God, it's heartbreaking, but it's one of your themes of the novel also. Can you talk about that?
It's true. Well, I was in advertising for 32 years, and it was, when I joined it, completely a man's world, just like in the show Mad Men. And I learned very quickly, when I got upset, my voice went higher, and I got I got louder and higher, and no one heard a word I said. They just blocked it out. And so I learned to lower my voice. And I learned to talk more softly. And the more softly I talked, the more they leaned in to hear me. And I discovered that gave me a power I didn't expect. And I wanted to have that work for Rosalind as well.
I saw in a bunch of your interviews and also in the Q&A that you talked about, you were interested in writing about the aftershock of World War II because so much has been written about World War II itself. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I feel like there's so many books now about World War II. I mean, it was such a clear case of good versus evil. It was one of the clearest cases ever, certainly in our generations, maybe the last 4 generations, 6 generations, where you could say, here's good, here's evil. But, I feel like it's been written about a lot, and I wanted to write about the Cold War because good and evil existed there too, but it has not really been explored, and it's something that interests me. I love the noir feel of post-war America, and I particularly love Chicago. I'm from Chicago, and for me, this book is a love letter to Chicago because it's just the most honest city in the world, the brawniest city in the world. It gets things done without showing off. And
you were in advertising for a long time before you moved to novelist. Can you talk about that transition?
well, I had been publishing all along while I was in advertising. And so I never got away from wanting to be a writer. I mean, I went to the Iowa Writers Workshop, and then I thought, I don't want to live on grants the rest of my life. And I know that writing is not going to support me forever. And I wanted to have a family. And so I really enjoyed my work in advertising. And it was really a different part of my brain. I was best in advertising in the morning. You know, that's when I could like handle all the details and all the stuff about what the clients wanted and make that come to pass. But I was better at writing after I put my daughter to bed at night. And, you know, that's when I could be creative and fall into another world.
In your long career as a writer, you've been published by Grand Central, HarperCollins, now Random House. Can you talk about this career and the ups and downs?
You know, I was saying this to somebody the other day. I really, I love the writing process. That's what really matters to me. The publishing thing is very scary. You know, you're putting your heart and soul out there and you don't know how people are going to react. And somebody's going to give you a 1-star review and say, I hated this. And so you're exposing yourself and it's kind of heartbreaking. So the happiest I am is when I'm having a moment of, aha, I'm going to put these characters together, or, oh, I know what I need here. And the writing process is more important to me. I mean, it's been wonderful that throughout my life, I've been able to publish 5 books, raise a kid on my own, and have a career. But it's, you know, I'm thrilled to share my book. I'm thrilled to give it to people, to be able to have them read it and have an experience of reading it. But in the end, it's the writing it that matters most to me.
Do you have any advice or words of wisdom for new or debut authors?
Love the process, because if you love the process and if you do the best you can, writing and rewriting, I mean, I rewrote this 10 times. I'm not kidding, 10 times. If you get it to where you really love it, no matter what anybody says, you can say, I did the best I could. And that's a tremendous shield for you. And I think it's really important to remember that it's about pleasing yourself, first of all, because the world will break your heart in some ways. And, you know, it'll also thrill you. Somebody's going to call and say, I read this book and I just can't believe you wrote this. I'll never forget it. And that'll be a gift to you. But generally, give the gift to yourself and write the best you can.
Jennie, what do you want readers to take away from Atomic Love?
I want them to take away that that people are very complex and that love is a very healing thing. That for me, love is not about just being happy. It's about healing each other's wounds. And that's really what I wanted to write about.
Jennie Fields, thank you so much for joining me today. I love Atomic Love. May you sell many, many copies.
Thank you, Rachel.